Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we have a look at cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves, is this going to be worth investing in? Today we have a look at a wonderful coin called Catgirl. This seems to have a lot of trending on CoinMarketCap, so I decided to make a video on it. If you like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you like the video, end up commenting on it. You are very welcome to shill on this video, because to be honest, I feel like that's probably one of the main purposes of this particular coin, would be shilling. So you're very welcome to do that, but please be kind in the comments. We want to create a good, healthy, and clean community, and please don't be like too lewd or anything. So anyway, Catgirl, let's have a look at what we can find out. It says that it's currently ranked 3,000 in terms of tokens, and it's got a $65 million market cap. It's high-ish, but it's not over 100, so it still is quite risky in terms of that. Let's have a look at how the price went. So, you know, this was like, I don't even know if you call this an opposite rug pull or what the heck you'd even call this, but you know, like, we've been sitting at like multiples of zeros, and then we went all the way up to less multiples of zeros with a 1598, and then we're currently sitting at less multiples of zeros, but more than, okay, anyway, you guys can see the charts. So the general consensus which I get from the community, from having a look at their Reddit and their Twitter, is that these guys like their project. They also post a bunch of cute pictures. So yes, if you like cute things, invest in this. No, I'm kidding. Let's actually look into, you know, whether or not we should be investing. So it's on Gate.io. Got a link in the description if you want to sign up to it. I do like Gate.io. It is one of the, I think, best. I don't know if it's a DEX or a CEX. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it actually is. But anyway, Gate.io is a good boy. It's probably a DEX, to be honest, knowing most of the things I see on there. And then it's also on PancakeSwap. So let's have a look at some of the other stats regarding this token. BSC scan. Have a look at these things here. Look at this. What do you notice which is different from this project compared to the other projects which we've had a look at? That's right. There is pretty much almost like no overarching person who has control of the coin. But there is something which we can't see on here, which we will be having a look into, which could cause problems, or which could cause for concern. But yeah, I mean, even this is kind of weird. So have a look. So like 0.95, and then so that's like one of like the higher like ones, right? And then you've got some of these other higher ones who've got, you know, like $1 million worth, and then like they list some of these others up here because I feel like these are the higher ones. So it's a little bit strange. I feel like this is sort of maybe like an issue with BSC Scanner itself. So maybe there's possibly amongst the other pages something where, you know, like there may be higher wallets than these wallets. I'm not really sure. Don't really think so. Also, sorry, I forgot to actually mention how much is in supply. So the max supply is a long number with starting with the number 9, and then our current circulating supply is 30. I don't even know how to read that number. Is that trillion? 32 trillion? Because it's okay. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. So I quite like this. This is attractive. This is very attractive. If you want to invest in like a scat coin, a lot of people are calling this the next Shiba Inu, by the way. So you know, just saying. I mean, a lot of people are saying this is really the next Shiba Inu about like heaps of projects, but this one, I think this one's probably got like a greater chance than the rest of those shill boys. So let's have a look at BSC check. What does that tell us? Buy and sell tax. And if we actually have a look on this shebang right here, it does tell us what those taxes are for. So transaction fees are as follows: 4% remuneration to all holders, 5% added to the liquidity pool automatically, 1% goes to the marketing budget. As for allocation to the team, 1% is locked for 4 years on DX sale. Now, I think that is a lie, and I will show you why soon. So if we have a look, actually, let me go whip. So if we have a look on, sorry about that, guys. So we have a lot of holders, over 200,000 holders, which is pretty impressive. So buy and sell 5%. So dev wallets, so we have a dev wallet which is on a contract. The ownership is not renounced. I'm not too scared of this at the moment. I will give you some reasons for why soon. So only 82% has been burned or locked. And this wallet is actually a dev address wallet. So it's the Catgirl deployer. I'm assuming they might be ending up using this for NFTs because one of the main sort of focuses as a part of the whole Catgirl thing is that you can that you can own your own unique NFTs, you know, non-fungible tokens, so that nobody else has them unless you right-click save as .png. .jpg. So yeah, so other than that, you can pretty much yeah, so I think that because they are creating a whole entire system on this, I think it's kind of cool, kind of good. And I mean, this is quite high of a market cap if it is going to be a scat coin. Cool. So that's a little bit of that. So 82% is so these are all the kind of locking addresses, if I can understand this correctly. Or sorry, these are dev addresses, and then we have the locked one there. So yeah. So it's a bit concerning that that is 14%, but we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. Yeah. By the way, just so that you guys know, I am not currently invested in this. I might invest in this, by the way. I'll give you my thoughts at the end of the video. But yeah, I'm not currently invested into this project. So buy and sell fee less than 10%, cool. No prior similar token contracts. That's interesting, isn't it? That is incredibly interesting because most times we see prior similar token contracts, but this one doesn't. So source does not contain a max transaction amount and does not contain, so it does contain a max so the function, actually we will look at that on the next page, but the actual fees of 5% can also be changed as well, and ownership not renounced. So just so that you guys are aware of the risk when the ownership is not renounced, means that they could possibly, let's say, disable selling, change the fees, mint new tokens. But yes, so that's why we do have to look at other things on the project to actually see if they are going to be worthy or not. So it says tokens burned 63%. Don't know where they're getting that number from. Do not know where they're getting that number from. That's quite interesting. And then as we can see, so it's got adequate liquidity, and then so usually as we sort of know, you want probably at least 95% of liquidity burned / locked. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and then so owner / creator wallet contains less than 5% of liquidity. So this is what token stuff says. The owner wallet contains a substantial amount of liquidity, which could allow for significant amounts to be removed, which is a part of the rug pull, right? Yeah, so it's quite interesting how it's sort of like how you can't really see it on, you know, the main BSC scan, but it's sort of one of those in the background things, you know. So this is a little bubble map. I have never used one of those, and I'm gonna skip past that. So Moon Arch, what does this tell us? So token age, it says that it is currently 8 months old. Non-burn supply 999T plus. And so this is actually where I saw the sort of concern, because I was like 14%, damn. So locked, as we can see, 82%, and then unlocked is 2.88%. So it's not that intimidating for me from what I can see, especially because we do still have a huge amount of liquidity, which is currently $3 million worth of liquidity. So I think that is quite attractive in and of itself. And then so it talks about the supply locks and the liquidity locks. And these are some of the other details which the owner can modify, which I mean, some of them could cause risk for it to be a honeypot. So set liquidity fee %, so that is where they can change the fees, and then so they can also change the max transaction %, which is or set the max transaction %. So that's where they can change the limits. And ownable.lock could be used to fake renounce. Ooh, yeah. I have actually heard / seen of some other projects which have fake renounced. I haven't done any on my channel yet, but I mean, we may come across something where they've actually done that, but it is possible to do a fake renounce. Yeah, so some smart people might be able to find other ways to go about that. Anyway, this is the Reddit. So as we can see, they were at like 1 in May, and then now they're up to 11,000. So this has definitely been promoted. I mean, it's a Catgirl. You're just going to have weeaboos coming out left, right, and center. By the way, I don't say that as an insult. I find the word weeaboo a funny word. Yeah, so anyway. So then we sort of dropped down. So we had, because remember we saw that kind of all-time high. So this definitely kind of follows as we've seen on Coin Market Cap in terms of where the actual coin price has been going. So that's quite interesting. And then post per day, so it's a little bit steady. It's, it's steady-ish. If you do want to invest in this project, by the way, then I feel like you should go onto the Reddit and actually read this post here, because it does talk about what maybe they would suggest you do in order to actually, I guess, try to get a 50x on the Catgirl roadmap. And so that was done 3 months ago. So 3 months ago we had actually, we were actually probably around about here 3 months ago. So yeah, so that's actually most likely higher than where we are now. So I mean, if you guys want to keep on seeing those fat, delicious, I don't know, insert nouns here, then yeah, I recommend going on to Reddit and having a look at that. But I don't know where the actual post is on here. So you might need to go to subredditstats.com and then copy in the Catgirl coin into here, and then that's where you can sort of find out that sort of post right there. So yeah. Anyway, that's just a little bit of information for you guys. So the community is not dead. Community is still alive and thriving. I wanted to show you guys this because I thought it was funny. All I want from the merch store, huddle me. It's a body pillow. That's the only comment. You're better than this. Anyway, all right. So I just wanted to show you guys that. So this is currently their Twitter. Their Twitter statistics. So in the last 30 days, they've had 2,000 followers. So out of 52,000 followers, 2,000 is not much, to be honest. It's quite little. It's like, is it 5%, 10%, 2%? I don't know. I definitely don't think it's 10%. It's something like 2%, I think. So it's really not much. So I feel like maybe this could be some sort of sleeping... Is it sleeping dragon? Is that the phrase? I can't remember. So it could be... No, sleeping giant. Yeah, sleeping giant. Yeah, I think it's that. So I sort of think that maybe it's just a bit of a... a bit of a steady thing. Their actual Discord community, by the way, looks to be full of weebs, ladies and gents. Yeah, I use the word weebs, but I don't actually know. So usually we may actually find a little bit of extra sort of comments here. I mean, as you can see from what we can see with the pictures, like, I mean, I'm, a sucker for cute things, man. So, I mean, looking at this sort of community, I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's, like, awesome, man. Anyway, so, yeah, apparently they're doing sort of a bit of like a revamp of their website as well, and this person here was calling out for farming and staking. So I believe that they may have some sort of farming / staking already available. But anyway, so this is talking about the V2 right here, and so a bunch of people are sort of nervous, like, oh my gosh, I have to transfer my coin to V2. Okay, so it looks like staking isn't currently live. So when will staking be live? So it looks like that's possibly going to be on their roadmap, which we will be having a look at. Some of the Google Trends. So if I just typed in Catgirl naturally on the Google Trends thing, that wouldn't be an accurate thing. So the fact that I have to, type in Catgirl crypto, it's probably not going to be the most accurate neither. So that's a little bit hard. As we can see, it had its massive peak during that sort of time, and then in the last 90 days, so this would have sort of been coming down from the October jazz, and it hasn't had a whole bunch of searches in the sort of maybe last month / 2. So as I say, I think that it is a little bit down. The fact that it's one of the top trending coins on CoinMarketCap is pretty random, to be honest. So we can have a look at some of the things. I'm gonna pause it on here. You guys can read if you really want to look at that jazz. But they talk about different things. So they talk about like farming and workshop, marketplace, and social, and all that sort of jazz. Fragile. Okay. So they have a Catgirl hub and swap, Cool. Hey, that's awesome. What better way to access all Catgirl future apps than using Catgirl Hub? So yeah, big dreams for these guys. Big dreams, big goals. Um, I mean, let's have a bunch of pink-haired cat girls everywhere on the interwebs because that's family friendly. 2% instant rewards, 2% farming pool, and then 1% marketing and development budget. Notice, I feel like they probably would have actually had a sort of fourth box here, but there is a reason why I think they might have actually removed that, and so we will look at that. So liquidity locked, so it has been locked on Unicrypt, interesting. And then so audited smart contract, okay, has been audited by Solidity Finance. I did not realize that. So that's actually good to know, that they have actually had an audit on there, which is Carpi. And we can actually have a look at some of these liquidity locks on here, which they currently says that the value was $0. Oh, because that would be yeah, literally $0. But it does actually sort of talk about how much is potentially locked on these sort of things. So yeah, so that doesn't really scare me too much. And then so this talks about smart contract audit, and so it's got to pass. Warning: decisions are based made on block timestamp environment variable, which can be manipulated by a malicious miner. This is extremely unlikely to occur. Well, isn't that just fascinating? Yeah. So it looks like that's the only real sort of concern slash thing. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'll keep that tab open then. So have a look at the team. Now, usually we want to see a docs team, but because of this particular project, or the type of project that this is, it's very uncommon to see a properly doxed team for these sort of things. So for instance, I don't think Shiba Inu's got like a doxed like person, developer, or like lead head, whatever, and I don't think Dogecoin has neither. So the fact that both of these sort of two meme coins don't actually have like doxed people, but they are actually quite big, does sort of give me a little bit of hopes in these sort of jazzes as well. So these guys do talk about the different experience which they have. Most have multiple years worth of experience in different types of coding languages. So it's kind of cool. It's annoying. So to me, I do like to see the team which is behind something before investing. But as I say, because of the type of project this is, I do understand why they do not show that sort of side of things. And then so this actually talks about how the sort of tokenomics works, but the fascinating thing is this right here. So it says, warning, tokens are unlocked. So they talked about locking it, and then from what I can see, I think that the actual tokens are unlocked, judging by the looks of that. And an anti-whale thing, but keep in mind, so I was looking at a project recently where, because the ownership had not been renounced, so remember, so the ownership is not renounced, because the ownership had not been renounced, and because the source has a fee modifier built into it, then potentially, so this is one of the risks which we have to look at. Potentially, they can go and change this sort of anti-whale thing. So buyers will not be able to purchase more than 1% of the total supply. Wow, that is way too true. So that's why things are like this. But then there's that 14% liquidity, which is owned by the developers. So, gosh, that's... I don't know what to say to that one. What's she eating? Pizza. Yeah, so this is some of their roadmap as well. So they had a website launch listed on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, initial listing on CEX, which I believe is possibly maybe Gate.io is a CEX. That's interesting. And then so this is on other things, more CEX listings, grow community to 10,000 Telegram users. So they have a few other things coming up. So Catgirl, NFT, airdrop, Catgirl marketplace. So I think the fact that we have seen some of these initial things is quite good. Will this be listed on something like Binance or KuCoin, or what is the other big ones, Coinbase and like Crypto.com? I don't know, man. Like, that's kind of hard to tell with this sort of jazz. It's on PancakeSwap, but I mean, so is a whole bunch of like not so trustworthy coins. And they've also got a song. So anyway, here are my thoughts on the general project. So that they don't currently have any interviews. So that's one thing which they currently do not have. They don't have any interviews. So we have seen a little bit of the relevant experience, a little bit of the roadmap. We don't see any partners currently, but I don't know. I don't feel like they really need partners. I mean, they possibly could have partners of some sorts. Somebody made a really cool picture showing like Doge and Shiba looking up to the moon, and the moon was like Catgirl or whatever. So yeah, I think if you want to invest into this, is this safe to invest into? I think it's one of the safer ones, because of that liquidity and because of the fact that most people can't own a major majority of it. But the reasons why it would be unsafe to invest into is because the owner has not been renounced, which, I mean, that's not always a bad thing. But the fact that the owner has not been renounced, they have a wallet which contains 14% of the liquidity, and the fact that they can go and change the fee and the max transaction amount. Those are sort of risky things for me if you were going to invest in this. But because they also do have, you know, that sort of NFT marketplace thing coming up, then they could be a bit more attractive to invest into. So yeah. So if you guys want to invest into this, you are very welcome to. I think that because of the community and a few other things, I think that this definitely has the potential to go up to, I'm not going to say the moon because I don't want to be one of those guys. Let's go to the moon, bro. But yeah, I think that you probably have a better chance of getting more profit on this coin than you'll have with Shiba Inu or Doge, to be honest. So yeah, anyway guys, that is my video. Please like and subscribe and comment some nice things, healthy community, all that sort of jazz. I've got a Patreon. Consider joining it. You can do it for $5 per month, $10 per month, or $20 per month, and you might get some cool stuff. Anyway, feel free to pause and have a read. Have a wonderful day. Actually, I just realized that my little tag thing is going to be covering this. So anyway, goodbye. Fare thee well. Much love. Don't hurt yourself.